All right, hello everybody. I'm here with Doug Meehan today, and Doug did his first odor job about a week ago. And what we're going to talk about here are the mistakes that Doug made and the mistake that I made not training him properly. So it really opened my eyes to understand that we have to have some kind of a cheat sheet out there for all of you that are new at this, so you understand what you shouldn't do and what you should do, so all these things work. So the way we're going to do this, Doug took a video of a job he did. And at the end of this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how Doug left the house. And, and I don't remember if I told him all this stuff, but I told him how to use the product and stuff. But this really helps me now understand that, look, I need to be way more thorough in showing all of you how to use our products so it's done correctly. Okay. So the first thing Doug and I are going to do, thanks for being here, Doug, and thanks for being the guinea pig. So what is this called? The hot seat?
Yes.
You're on the hot seat. Okay. Yeah. Now, Doug has been in the industry cleaning carpets for well over 30 years, correct?
28.
28 years. I was making you look way better, dude. I would have went with it. Yeah. 500 years. No. So Doug has been doing this for 28 years. That's a long time. And what does Doug do for fun? Well, he's a rock and roll guitar guy. He plays guitar like, Jimi Hendrix, or are you like Jimi Hendrix?
Closer to Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh God, man, you're good, dude. You're so good. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's enough of the fun and games. We're gonna watch this video now. I am gonna share my screen, and then I will bring the video up, and we're gonna stop the video at parts so I can explain what went wrong and how we can do it better. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Doug Meehan, and I own only the best carpet care odor pros here in Colorado. And I'm just going to show you what I learned from Joe. I've known Joe for a while, and he's been teaching me a lot of stuff about deodorization. So anyhow, this is the first house I've ever done. It's really just a room in this one where somebody smoked in just this room. And it's true. I mean, the rest of the house doesn't smell smoky. It's just in here. So they had already painted the walls, and I know from learning from Joe that it would have been best if they had not painted the walls before I had a chance to clean them. But since they had, I went ahead and just cleaned the ceiling with the solution that Joe showed me. And
so let's talk about that solution for 1 minute. Okay. So what Doug did is he took our 4-gram tablet, he made a gallon of solution, and he added like 2 ounces of our soil break to that to clean that ceiling. Okay. So he used a little more soil break than we normally would, only because he wanted to get any residue off, and it came off. Now, most of you know, some of you don't, that we have a sealer that we can use on these walls if they've been painted. Because as you know, if you paint the walls, you cannot remove the tar now. So luckily in this instance, it worked. The job worked. It was a small room. It was like 100 square feet. And so he was able to clean the ceiling and get started. So let's move on.
And then I cleaned the carpet with the truck mounted machine.
Okay. So there's a big no-no right there. So I don't remember if I told Doug this, and this is why I want to get a list to everybody out there, and they follow the list. You never wet the carpet or wet anything in a room that's a fabric before you're going to gas, because chlorine dioxide gas could bleach that carpet. Luckily, in this instance, it did nothing to the carpet. Now, our tablets are stabilized. They work a little different than other chlorine dioxide products, but I am a big advocate of doing things, dry carpet, dry furniture, so we never have a problem. This carpet did not bleach, which was a miracle in my mind, but it could have also been one of those Coke bottle type carpets that don't have dye spots, that just don't bleach. Olefin also, right, Doug, won't bleach?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like olefins, those commercial carpets won't bleach. Anyway, he got lucky. So here we go. So remember, never clean first, clean after you're through gassing. Here we go.
And now I'm going to begin the gassing process using a 100-gram tablet and 3/4 of a gallon of water and a fish bubbler, which are all in this, our fish tank aerator, if you will. But it's all, I have the 1 gallon bucket inside the 5 gallon bucket in case it overflows. But anyhow, so, and this is a battery powered aerator. So
let me just say something real quick, and this isn't a big deal. Doug used 3/4 of a gallon of water for 1 tablet. I probably would use a 1/2 gallon. So our tablets are made to, 1/2 gallon per tablet. So if he was going to do a bigger room, like 500 square feet, he would use 3 of our tablets in 1.5 gallons, 1/2 gallon for each one. It's not going to hurt that he did 3/4 of a gallon. I just prefer a 1/2 gallon per tablet. Okay, here we go.
anyhow, I'm gonna put my mask on. This is a vapor mask that I got at Home Depot. Truthfully, I should probably have a real respirator. But
okay, let's talk about that real quick. He's going to put that tablet in, turn that bubbler on, and leave, right? So he's probably not going to be breathing a lot of gas. That's a really good, that's what's really special about our products. In the past, we had to use kits. We'd have to stir part A, stir part B, pour part B into part A. Now we're just dropping a tablet in the bucket, turning it on, and leaving. Now, I like the idea of letting the tablet dissolve completely, let those buffers work, right? Because a lot of times if we do it before it completely dissolves in that bucket, we could create some free chlorine. It's not going to hurt anything. It just gives it a stronger chlorine smell. And we'd rather not do that. That's why we have stabilized tablets. So we don't do that. If you just let it dissolve completely, turn it on, I think it's better. But this didn't hurt anything. It didn't change the fact that he's going to get rid of this odor. Now, talking about the mask, right? The mask, I think, is extremely important because if you are going to breathe it, if you're going to be in there, I think you need a full face respirator with vapor cartridges, and I'm going to have those up on the screen right now. You can see what I'm talking about. And we're going to be carrying those at Envirotize Solutions at some point soon. So you can just order it from there. Right now, go to Amazon and look at the ones that I have on the screen, and you can find what you need. He's wearing a vapor mask right there. He got it at the paint department at Lowe's or Home Depot, which, is going to be sufficient for this. But, I think everybody should have a full face respirator. And that's what he's saying in his video. He knows that he needs one if he's going to do a lot more jobs.
I'll get one. Anyhow, I'm going to put this on. And I should also have gloves on, but I didn't get any. So I'm going to try not to touch the tablet. But anyhow, here goes. I'm going to unwrap the tablet. And I'm just going to plop it in the water. Big tablet, Dave. Big tablet. I'm going to plop it in this.
Okay,
3/4 of a gallon.
Hold on. Did you see what just happened there? When he dropped that tablet in the water, it splashed up. So you want to get it right on that surface and put it in. That's why it's good to have gloves. You're going to put it in the water, right? You're just going to, it's like doing a hard-boiled egg. When you're going to put that egg in the pot, you're not going to drop it from high so it cracks. You're going to kind of put it right in that water and let it slide in without any splashing. Now, because what could happen and it probably wouldn't because it's not even dissolved yet, but let's say he was putting 3 tablets in there, right? And it's already dissolving and it's already really strong chlorine dioxide at that point. If that splashed on his clothes, it would bleach his clothes. And it could also bleach that carpet if it splashes out. So really important that you're not letting it splash. Man, I'm making Doug sound pretty bad, but actually he's doing it. He did the job and got rid of the odor. So, but he knows now in the future how to do this. Anyway, here we go.
Water. And it's already starting to bubble. Looks like Alka-Seltzer in there. It's yellow. And so I'm going to turn on this bubbler.
Okay, like I said, I would probably wait for it to dissolve completely, but this is okay.
It's really strong. I can already smell it. Then with this mask on, is a vapor mask. So anyhow, so it's on. I'm going to leave this for 4 hours. I'm actually going to go deodorize a car that has some bad odors in it. It got stolen and it came back in really raunchy condition. So I'm going to go deodorize it for this guy. while I'm waiting for this to work. And so I'm doing two jobs at once. This will work on this for 4 hours, we'll come back and break down my setup, and be done. And all told together today, between this house is about, what, 568 for the carpet cleaning, which was not much, and then the deodorization. And then my car is going to be about 250. So I'll be at about an $800 a day, and I'll be done here in a few hours. So anyhow, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Joe. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so I know some stuff because Dave talked to me on the phone that night when he got a call from the management company. This was an empty house. Now, Doug, you went in there and cleaned carpet and did deodorization. How much of that 558 was deodorization?
For my carpet cleaning was 157.
Oh my God. Okay. So it was around $400, right? 401. So
Yeah.
you made $651 in like a 4-hour period doing deodorization. Plus you added an extra $157 to clean that one little room.
Right.
Okay. So one other thing that went down that I found out after I talked to Doug. So the management company went in there to see if it didn't smell like smoke anymore, right? And Doug didn't know they were going to go in that quick. So after talking to Doug, because they were texting him, and he called me like they think it's really strong smell. What kind of chemical did we use? Well, here's what happened. Doug went in there and he had to go pick up his wife. Now, I understand he had to pick up his wife, but you never do this. He did not. So he took his stuff out, left the gas strong in the air, and left without airing out the home. You always have to open windows, turn that HVAC machine on or system on, right on fan, pull fresh air in and get that chlorine dioxide gas out of there. Because even though it was like 4 hours and that the door shut, it will hold gas for several hours until it completely dissipates, right? So Doug didn't know this. He didn't think of it. He thought if he turned the heater on, it would just dissipate because I'm sure you opened the door, right?
Yes.
Now, so what happened is that smell was pretty strong because it was still a gas, correct?
Yeah.
So you went in there and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a gas, right? And so you always want to clear that out first. Luckily, it wasn't a family that came in and they had kids and they're in there, and it could have been a different situation. You always air the house out. Now, I'm going to give you a tip right now. That's probably the best tip I've ever learned. And I learned this from a guy named Lewis in Florida. So if you go in there, and you can have a little spritz bottle, a little spray bottle if you want, but it's way easier with a cool mist fogger, right? That you go in there and you fog some distilled water real quick. It will totally eliminate the chlorine smell, like in seconds. It's got to be distilled water. It can't be house water out of a tap because that has chlorine in it, right? And all these other chemicals. Distilled water has nothing. So you go in there with distilled water and it will eliminate the chlorine smell. Okay, so that's the best tip of the day I can give you. But I wanted to do this video with Doug, and I didn't want to embarrass him. It was his first job, but I thought it was extremely valuable, not only for me, because I know that I got to train a little bit better because Doug went out there and we've talked about this. And I assumed that I told him all this, but we need to have a checklist that we're working on right now. That way you check it off, right? No cleaning carpet, nothing wet, all that. Open the drawers, all the kind of things that you're supposed to be doing, the amount of water you should have in your bucket. And the reason Doug had a 5-gallon bucket, once more, the reason he had a 5-gallon bucket and his 1-gallon bucket inside is, he had 3/4 gallon of water. So there was only about that much room. And what if it did bubble a little bit over and got on the carpet? At least in that 5-gallon bucket, it's not going to do that. Now, when we're doing 3 tablets in a 5-gallon bucket, Doug, here's our bucket and our water is way down here because 1.5 gallons is way down here. So that you don't need another bucket. But do you know when I was doing this kind of work, I always used 2 buckets no matter what. And I used 2 5-gallon buckets because I'm OCD, I'm bipolar, I'm ACD, I'm ADHD, right? And all this stuff. So I'm always freaking out that what if a pinhole gets in the bottom of that 5-gallon bucket and it leaks on the floor. So I always have a backup with a second bucket. And I don't know how necessary that is, but I've never had problems because of the way I think, but it's good to be cautious, don't you think?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you learn from this, Doug, today? What is the big takeaway for you?
Basically, to think it through, I think a checklist would be very valuable,
Yes.
especially for us new guys. Yeah, we've been over it all, but it's hard to remember everything, and maybe, it's just so. And this one, it's like, okay, let's roll. And I get the call. I do it to the best of my knowledge and ability, and it wasn't all right. So now I know. And the next one, which is coming up, got another house to do, which is awesome. I'll make almost $2,000 on this next one. So, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and it's just a little house, but it's the whole house. And the lady chain smoked in it.
So let me ask you something. You've been a carpet cleaner 28 years, right? And I know you do carpet repair also, right? It's a very lucrative venture for you. And now this new odor thing that you've been playing around with, because we talked about, I'm like, hey, we got these problems. You're already in houses doing carpet cleaning. Why don't you do some odor stuff? And you're doing carpet repair. Out of the three different things, carpet repair, carpet cleaning, odor removal, did you ever imagine that odor removal was that lucrative?
No.
So, and you've done odor removal. You've done pet jobs because you've had a carpet cleaning company for 28 years.
Yeah, I've been doing pet jobs for a long, long time. But, there's always those other odors in houses, not always, but frequently. And, I had no clue. It's like, well, that's just how it is. That's how this house smells.
So let me ask you this. Ask you this. This is a great question. As for the amount of money you can make per hour on each of these three businesses you have now, like you're doing odor, you're doing carpet repair and carpet cleaning, per hour cost, which one is odor removal the highest paying per hour for the work involved?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. And
there you have it.
Much less labor intensive too.
Well, you dropped a tablet inside of a bucket.
Yeah, and I'm not 29 anymore. It's like, it's nice to have something that's not quite so physical sometimes.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I'm so happy for you. An $850 day, working a few hours. Let's see, what are they paying people at McDonald's now? Is it like 18 bucks an hour?
Yeah.
So 850 divided by 18, you would have to work 47.22 hours at McDonald's to make the money Doug made in one day, in 4 hours. There you go, Doug.
Yep.
Forget about getting that job at McDonald's now, because you're
right. Yeah. No,
all right. We will talk soon. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. I'm leaving. We're ending this. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Joe.